Art's communication. It's a way for two people from across the globe at different times in the universe to speak to each other. What I've found that I have a love for is a post-industrial form. You'll see a lot of my things are taking a functional object, something that was once meant for purpose, and then creating that into a conceptual context. It's kind of interesting when people associate you as a mixed media artist that works in repetition of forms and objects. People start giving you things that they find interesting. A friend of mine shows up and drops off like 30, doll molds one time for me. I'm like, oh, these are sweet, and they're also about 50 pounds a piece. I did use them, though. I did love them, So the material starts finding you. There's a kind of a balance I'm looking for from the time that I have the idea to the time that I find the material and the medium that I'm going to work in. It's this dialogue between each other on where we're going to end up when it's actually being shown. This installation behind me is about the evolution of ideas. For me, a clipboard, a piece of paper, and a pencil are like the three first tools for every idea that I come across. You start and it's simple, and then it adds up and it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and more complicated. And then you just subtract all those other things out that you've been working on as you're moving forward to get back to why you started making that artwork. We're some of the most critical people in the world, especially when we look at our own selves. You always have this doubt in your work. But you never let it stop you from trying or doing what you want to do. I'm not trying to find how it becomes easier to make my work. I'm trying to find out, how do I make better work? It's not risky, or if you don't doubt it, then you're not probably pushing as hard as you should. The longevity is the most important thing into being an artist. It's not what you're doing right now. It's not who you're showing with right now, how many shows you have at museums, how many commissions. They're all things that should grow over your time naturally. That excitement of getting up, coming to a studio, analyzing artwork every day, the fact that I have this opportunity to create artwork the rest of my life, that drives me. To be able to do a lifetime of making artwork, that's where you can be able to decide what was successful or not. When people are looking at my artwork, however long into the future, I'm still having the same conversation with them that I'm having with you now. Much like a book or the Bible itself, it's the person who analyzes it and who continues to spread the word of the messages, how that art gets represented. Getting that chance to slow down and really think about why that art was made, what that art's about. That's really important for this generation, for next generations as well, is that we really talk and the story of life gets a little longer and more in depth.